This is Gary Price and Tom Galvin again here for another presentation of The Truth in Black and White. We've been away for a couple of months, but we're back again to kind of get into the fray, as it were, concerning the latest current events and what's happening around the world and here in America, and bringing some light in the midst of darkness to things that are really out of hand now. And I believe it's time for us to really take a microscopic look at what we're dealing with in reality, as opposed to all the illusions and delusions being painted by the media, religion, and other clandestine operations being operated by the devil to actually deceive the masses. So today we're going to be talking about extraterrestrials, ETs. You remember the movie back some years ago? I think it was Steven Spielberg made the movie E.T. about a visitor from outer space. But we're going to really zero in on what these visitors really are and what we're really dealing with, as opposed to the make-believe scenarios being painted by movies and the like. Some of you may have tuned in to a broadcast that comes on nightly in America called Coast to Coast with George Norrie. And they like to talk about extraterrestrials and interplanetary travel and visitations from distant planets and things of that nature, New Age and a lot of world religions and things like that. But in fact, they're missing the very foundation of what this is all about and where it's really being orchestrated from, because they leave out Satan as the one that's really propagating all of this and what he's really trying to accomplish. So to understand what we're dealing with really, let's take a look at Genesis chapter 6, beginning at verse 1. I'm reading from the King James Version of the Bible. And it states, "It came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he is also flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. Now there is a teaching out there that says that the daughters of men were joined to the sons of God, and the sons of God were actually the sons of Seth, one of Adam's sons. And these are not angels or fallen beings, but these are just basically sons of Seth.
Right.
And we'll disprove that later by looking at 2 Peter chapter 2 and the book of Jude, which tells you plainly that these were fallen angels. But for right now, let's continue reading Genesis chapter 6 as we look at this interaction between these fallen angels and the daughters of men. It says, there were giants in the earth, this is verse 4, in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. So the sons of God had sexual intercourse with the daughters of men, and they produced what we know as heroes today. They're called mighty men in the Bibles, but if you take that Hebrew term and bring it forward in time to the modern day vernacular, we would call them heroes. You know, superheroes like Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, all the superheroes that you see Marvel comic books and that type of thing, bringing it into the forefront and making movies now about superheroes. Iron Man, X-Men, able to fly, able to overcome the physical limitations of Earth.
And now it's not even in those mutated presentations where you got, now it's just normal looking people, heroes, the show called Heroes. They're just average looking people.
Heroes, yeah.
I mean, even Superman was kind of just average looking guy, except for a stupid red cape and blue tights. But I mean, what's the big deal? If it was sons of Seth, what would be the big deal? If it was really just other people that came into the daughters of men, I mean, why would he say it like that?
Or why even bring it up?
Why would the sons of Seth, what was so extraordinary about them that they would actually create these mighty men of renown?
And then saying the next verse, which were of old, men of renown.
Right.
Men who were respected. I basically believe that the human race was subjected to these hybrid humans, half angel, half man. And if you look back in time to archaeological discoveries, you find out that these hybrid human beings left all kinds of artifacts which let you know that they were around, i.e. the Egyptian pyramids, huge temples built to the glory of these hybrid humans, and ancient Roman artifacts and Greek artifacts, and going back into Babylon and Mesopotamia, and the very what I call the very area of human existence where Adam and Eve probably lived in a fertile area right in the northern part of Africa there, where the Garden of Eden was believed to have been. That whole area is filled with artifacts and all kinds of leftover remnants that show you that there was something there that was not just human.
Right.
So you got these men of renown, and God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And I think about that. Every imagination of the thoughts of his heart were only evil continually. That gives you now a signpost that you can read. We're close to the end on earth because the thoughts and the imaginations of mankind has been contaminated by some type of a invading force that has come into man's intellect and his psyche that's making him meditate on evil things continually. You see it in the arts, in the movies, in the music. All these things engender evil imaginations and meditations all the time. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. What is grace? Unmerited favor, time to repent and get yourself together. God actually appending an attribute to you that allows you space to reorder your life and restructure your life. So Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. And you know the story of Noah's flood. God wiping out this degenerate race of people on the earth. It's believed that at least 1 million people lived on the earth at that time. And God annihilated everybody down here except for 8 people in Noah's household. So now we see now that you have this fallen race of rebellious angels that came to earth, had sexual intercourse with women, and produced hybrid humans who I believe were disembodied at the time of the flood. And you have nomadic, roaming, disembodied spirits looking for a residence through which they can actively carry out their dastardly deeds of sin and rebellion against God. And the human race is seen as basically a host body for them to get back into to do their filthy, unclean acts.
And even the New Agers kind of give us this picture of humans as being like an experiment. They want to talk about how the planet was basically like a colony of these alien extraterrestrials that came to the Earth eons ago and basically engineered the human. So they want, nothing to do with God the Father, the Creator. They want to explain it as some sort of a colonizing effort made by these aliens who they always picture that, the alien, they don't look at these guys as spiritual beings. That's what we're saying here. These are spirit beings that have entered into the human race.
And basically they've contaminated the gene pool.
Right.
If you join an angel with a woman, you contaminate the gene pool of the human race, whereby you get this hybrid. I mean, hybrid is basically the mixing of any two elements to make a third element that didn't previously exist before you mix the two together.